Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to everyone, depending on where you are joining us from today. I want to welcome you to, and I welcome everyone to today's webinar. My name is John Ibokwe. I'm a Cyber AB CMMC certified professional, and I'm the lead architect, the Microsoft GCC High lead architect at TechAxia. And let me share a little bit about TechAxia before we move forward. So TechAxia is a cybersecurity and CMMC advisory company, as well as a Microsoft approved Azure Gov partner, a Microsoft partner, and a cloud service provider. We are also a managed service provider. We are primarily focused on small defense industry-based companies, helping them achieve CMMC compliance using the Microsoft cloud. Let's go over quickly the agenda, what we have in the agenda for today. The business driver for today's webinar is actually NIST 800-171/CMMC and the associated FAR and DFARS clauses. So we'll spend a little time reviewing some of the relevant CMMC 2.0 updates. We'll also review which defense industry-based companies are affected, or which defense industry-based companies should start implementing the CMMC cybersecurity controls. Then we'll delve into unpacking the Microsoft 365 Government Community Cloud, the GCC High Cloud, and how both the 365 Government Cloud and the Azure Government Cloud, how this can help defense industry-based companies achieve and maintain CMMC compliance and cybersecurity on the Microsoft cloud in a cost-effective and timely manner. Now let's begin. It all begins with FCI and CUI. FCI stands for Federal Contract Information, and CUI stands for Controlled Unclassified Information. So, and the main and every controlled unclassified information that a government contractor has is actually FCI, but not all FCI are CUI. Because of time, we'll not go into the weeds of FCI, CUI, and the different types of CUI. There are actually subcategories of different kinds of CUI as defined by NARA, but suffice it to say that when it comes to CMMC, the data points, the sensitive data we are concerned about is actually federal contract information and controlled unclassified information. Those are the sensitive data types that we want to protect. Now, CMMC is actually based on NIST 800-171. And NIST 800-171 is a framework or a standard, by NIST that contains 110 cybersecurity controls that the Department of Defense specifically has said, hey, any contractor doing work with us, especially at CMMC level 2, has to meet these requirements. So NIST 800-171 has been in effect since December 31st of 2017. And we all know that CMMC 2.0 is currently going through the rulemaking process. It has not yet been finalized, so it's currently going through rulemaking, but we know that NIST 800-171 has been in effect since 2017, December 31st. So it is a good idea to start now to prepare, to be compliant, because experience shows that it takes anywhere from plus or minus 8 months to plus or minus 18 months to go from 0% to 100% CMMC compliance, depending on each company's accreditation boundary size, your budgets, your business process, and other variables. So it is a good idea to start today to prepare to be CMMC compliant if you've not already started. One big question many defense industry-based companies have asked is, does CMMC affect me? How do I know if CMMC affects my company? Is it going to affect all the companies or just a few? The short answer is, if you have the FAR rule, the FAR on the screen, the FAR rule, the FAR is Federal Acquisition and Regulation Rules, 52.204-21, or if you have the Defense Federal Acquisition and Regulation and Supplemental Rules 252-204-7012, then you are in. If you have any of these in your contract, any of these clauses in your contracts, then CMMC affects you. The FAR rule 52-204-21 affects CMMC level 1, and the DFARS 252-204-7012 affects CMMC level 2 and CMMC level 3. And then I have on the screen other related DFARS clauses that relates to CMMC, but because of our time, we won't go into the weeds. But the key thing to take from this slide is, how do you know if you're affected? If you have any of those two main clauses in your contracts, then CMMC affects you. With that quick overview of CMMC and where we are with CMMC, from CMMC 1.0 now to CMMC 2.0, let's now delve into Microsoft GCC High, because the essence of today's webinar is to understand how we can use the Microsoft GCC High Cloud to help us meet the CMMC requirements in a comprehensive and cost-effective manner. So the Microsoft as a company has different clouds. So there is a Microsoft Commercial Cloud, there is a Microsoft Government Cloud, GCC, and then there is Microsoft GCC High Cloud, and there are actually other Microsoft Gov clouds, as well, that are specific for government agencies. But we're going to be spending more time today on the solutions and how GCC High Cloud helps us meet CMMC requirements. And just a little bit of information about GCC High Cloud. GCC High Cloud is based in the US. The data centers for GCC High these data centers are in the US, they are not outside of the US. And the support staff as well are also in the US for GCC High, unlike the commercial Microsoft Cloud. So the GCC High Cloud also has enhanced compliance features, which the commercial cloud does not have. And because of CMMC, because of the CMMC requirements, we are seeing more and more defense industry-based companies migrate to the GCC High Cloud, both for CMMC reasons and ITAR and other compliance requirements. Again, the Microsoft GCC High is tailor-made, tailor-designed specifically to help defense industry-based companies meet the CMMC requirements and other regulatory requirements as well. Now, even Microsoft understands and recognizes that CMMC creates a significant burden for small defense industry-based companies. It is a huge gap that CMMC has created, especially for small defense contractors. So Microsoft has created specific tools and solutions to reduce the cost and the timeline required to meet CMMC requirements, especially for small defense contractors. These tools are under a program that Microsoft has called the Microsoft CMMC Acceleration Program. These tools include the Microsoft Product Placemat for CMMC 2.0, and this product placemat shows a high-level mapping of how different Microsoft workloads like Azure Ready, Privileged Identity Management, and all of that, how those different capabilities in the Microsoft GCC High Cloud, how they meet different CMMC/NIST security requirements. One of the most important of these tools that we're going to talk about today is the Compliance Manager, the second one, the Compliance Manager. And it comes with CMMC assessment templates. And one reason why this is one of the most important, if not the most important tool in this program, is that this template specifically shows you where and what in the Microsoft Cloud that you as a Microsoft customer can use and can use to meet specific CMMC requirements. Believe me, this is a gold mine. This is a gold mine. Another benefit of the Microsoft Cloud is the scalability of the GCC High Cloud across CMMC levels. In CMMC 1.0, there were 5 levels, but now in CMMC 2.0, there are now 3 levels. One of the beauty of the GCC High Cloud is that it is scalable across the 3 CMMC levels. So whatever you do in CMMC level 1, you can scale that to CMMC level 2 and CMMC level 3 as the case might be. And you can also adapt the different security capabilities across the CMMC levels as well. And CMMC is not a set it and forget it checklist of tasks. CMMC requires ongoing monitoring and improvements for ongoing compliance and security. And that is one more area where GCC High, this GCC High Cloud proves its worth in facilitating continuous improvements and monitoring for ongoing compliance. The last piece I'm going to talk about, for the CMMC acceleration program is Microsoft Sentinel. Microsoft Sentinel is a cloud native, like it's originated from the cloud, is cloud-based, is a cloud-based SIEM solution, and SIEM means security information and event management. One of the requirements of CMMC is to collect all your logs into one central repository for ease of hunting, harvesting, and intelligence gathering. And that's one of the capabilities that the Microsoft GCC High Cloud provides. It provides this cloud-native SIEM solution that integrates into all of 365, all the different logs, and even it can ingest logs from other sources you may have in your environment. So it is a really powerful solution and a very comprehensive platform. The Microsoft GCC High Cloud is truly a one-stop solution for small businesses. You don't have to couple together different solutions from different vendors. Everything from your office productivity, suite, your Microsoft Word, your PowerPoint, your Excel, your Power BI, to your email system, all of those things, and of course, with the layered security and compliance tools that Microsoft has made available, truly makes GCC High a comprehensive one-stop solution, not only for your compliance needs, but for your day-to-day business needs as well. And, this SIEM solution, Microsoft truly topped it off with this Microsoft Sentinel that provides not only a SIEM, but an automated event and threat incident management solution called the SOA, Security Orchestration, Automation, and Response. So again, I just wanted to emphasize before we move on that the Microsoft GCC High Cloud is truly a one-stop solution that is comprehensive, cost-effective, and reduces the time for you to achieve CMMC compliance. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier, and we'll spend a lot of time on this, but this is the Microsoft product placement for CMMC 2.0. Based, as you can see on the screen, it shows you different services in the Microsoft GCC High Cloud, Azure Ready, Privileged Identity Management, Intune, or endpoint manager. And for each of these things, if you enable it or disable it, if you flip the switch from yes to no, it shows you on the left, like as you can see on the screen, which of these domain or control families and the specific assessment objectives that you can meet with each of those Microsoft GCC High Cloud service that is on the left. And sorry, the control families are actually on the right. So it's basically, it shows you at a very high level how different services in the Microsoft Cloud, particularly GCC High, can help you meet each of these CMMC requirements. Microsoft says right out of the bat that the Microsoft 365 E5 license covers 18 of these practices outright and has 74 shared, coverage. And one important thing to mention here is that while the Microsoft GCC High Cloud is a comprehensive solution, it doesn't mean that you don't have a responsibility as a customer. It's truly a shared responsibility model, as you can see on the screen. Microsoft does most of the heavy lifting, but there are still some configuration that as a Microsoft customer that you have to do as well. So again, this product placement shows at a high level the different services and how it maps to the different CMMC requirements. Next, we are going to look at the Microsoft Compliance Manager. As you can see on the screen, the Microsoft Compliance Manager is one of the best things since sliced bread, right? You can see CMMC version 2.0 level 2 on the screen, and on the left of the screen, you see the controls, right? You see different, for example, you see access control, expanded. But if you look on the right of your screen, you can see the different control families of CMMC level 2.0. You can see access control, you can see audit and accountability, you can see awareness and training, you can see incident response. These are some of the domain or control families that makes up the CMMC entire requirements. And the beautiful thing that Microsoft has done here, which I consider a gold mine for small, especially small defense contractors, is that instead of you having to figure out all of these things on your own, actually, before Microsoft released this, myself and another Microsoft MVP company, we started actually working together to create this for small defense contractors, and then Microsoft released this. So I can relate firsthand with the amount of effort it's going to take to create a solution like this compliance manager. It's a lot of man hours and dollars. But the beautiful thing, Microsoft is making it available free of charge, so long as you have at least one E5 license in your Microsoft GCC High tenants. It's even available in the commercial as well. So one of the beautiful things about this, and one of the core benefits of the compliance manager from Microsoft, is that it lists all the requirements of CMMC and tells you exactly where in the Microsoft cloud do you need to go to meet that requirement, right? And so I'm going to move us, to the next slide. So right here, you see that it shows you your improvement actions, right? And it tells you you can see there are 325 improvement actions. On this slide, I'm not showing the Microsoft actions because the Microsoft actions are already completed. And this again highlights the importance of the shared responsibility model. Some people think once I move to the cloud, I'm all good. Not exactly. Moving to the cloud is the right step. It saves you money, it saves you time, but then there are still some things you need to configure to take full advantage of the Microsoft GCC High Cloud. So as you can see here, there are over 325, 325 items that you need to configure. And not just the 325 items. Actually, there are over 700 data points that you need to configure. Just 300 plus other 400 plus best practices that needs to be configured and also maintained on an ongoing basis, not only to achieve your CMMC compliance the first time, but also to maintain it on an ongoing basis. Because, the Microsoft GCC High Cloud is not a set it and forget it, checklist of items. It is there's an ongoing component, of it. Actually, the CMMC so far, the understanding is that certification is going to be required every 3 years, at any point, especially at level 3, the government can come in and audit you to make sure that you are still compliant with all of those requirements. So again, it's not a set it and forget it solution, and it's a shared responsibility model. There are things for you to do, and there are things for Microsoft to do. And that brings us to TechAxia's role in helping defense contractors navigate CMMC compliance. First and foremost, TechAxia, we are an approved Microsoft Azure Government Direct Cloud Solution Provider, and we have certified CMMC professionals in-house. For example, yours sincerely speaking today, I'm a CMMC certified professional. We have robust documentations. We have the expertise both from the CMMC standpoint and the Microsoft standpoint to help you not only meet CMMC requirements, but also maintain it after you get it. Another thing to keep in mind is that the Microsoft GCC High Cloud, is also evolving, just like CMMC is evolving. For example, CMMC is going through rulemaking as we speak. Also, the Microsoft Cloud GCC High platform is also evolving. New technologies are released and old ones are retired. For example, Windows Information Protection has been retired. That was a technology that has been in place for over 2 years, but today is retired. So part of the benefits we bring to our clients is not only being subject matter experts in CMMC, but also being truly one of the best in the world when it comes to Microsoft GCC High. We've been around when it started, and we've been helping many customers migrate to GCC High and maintain it, even as a managed service provider. And then the third thing is actually cybersecurity. Many people don't realize that compliance is not the same thing as cybersecurity. Compliance is actually different from, you can be compliant and insecure, or you can be secure and not compliant. But the beautiful thing of working with a partner like TechAxia is that we understand both sides of that equation. We understand compliance, especially particularly CMMC, which is a cybersecurity maturity model certification. a program of the Department of Defense for defense contractors doing business with DoD. We understand our requirements, based on this 800-171. We are also experts on the Microsoft GCC High Cloud. We have over 15 industry certifications, and we've held multiple clients and continue to help many defense contractors not only move to the cloud, but maintain their CMMC investments, make the most of that investment in the Microsoft GCC High Cloud. And finally, we are also cyber professionals, both on the red team and blue team perspective. We are continuously staying abreast of changes within the cyber landscape. We are subscribed to multiple cyber advisories, including CISA and US CERT and other ones. We are continuously scanning the dark web for our clients to make sure that if any user account is exposed in the dark web, that our clients are informed and appropriate mitigation actions are taken in a timely manner to keep our clients safe and secure. So you can see that the Microsoft GCC High Cloud is one of the most effective solutions for the defense industry-based companies seeking to achieve CMMC compliance. And as of today, there are over 700 data points to configure, document, and maintain in GCC High. And it can be difficult or very overwhelming for a small business to keep on top of these CMMC changes, keep on top of GCC High changes, and keep on top of cyber threats as well while running their business. And this is where TechAxia comes in. We have seasoned professionals, both in CMMC and in GCC High, and even in the cyber security, within cyber security as well. And we bring the best of compliance of Microsoft Cloud and cyber security to our customers in the form of initial assessment, CMMC assessment, documenting and creating plan of action and milestones, and remediating those while providing cybersecurity advisory and CMMC and GCC High advisory services to our clients. So leveraging the power of the Microsoft GCC High and as a trusted partner with experience and the core competence and the capability, we are a safe pair of hands for our clients in not only preparing for CMMC compliance, but in maintaining that compliance in a safe, cost-effective, and compliance manner as well. So as we begin to wrap up today, so what are the next steps? What's the call to action? Typically, the next steps will be to, if you've not, to conduct your CMMC self-assessment, and if you've already done that, to validate it, to make sure that your SPSR score, your SPER score that you have, that is actually as accurate as possible, that it reflects the true picture of your cyber environment, of your information system. So you want to either validate or conduct your CMMC self-assessments, and two artifacts, two key outputs or deliverables from that exercise, that assessment, should be your system security plan and your plan of action and milestones. Your system security plan should contain your data flow diagram. Again, remember, the sensitive information we want to protect here is the FCI and CUI. So you want to understand how does that data flow in your environment, and then your plan of action and milestones is the gaps you currently have in your environment. So once you have these two documents in place, you can then plan and begin remediation of your identified gaps, which we call your POEM items. And, on the right, you can see our proven CMMC compliance process. We begin by identifying your key data, again, your FCI, your CUI, your business processes, and the technology you already have in place. We review your current environment. We understand that GCC High is not the only solution out there or the only technology out there. So we take a holistic and comprehensive review of your environment. We review your current environment. And also, CMMC is not just about technical solutions. An important piece of this is your policies, your plans, and your procedures as well. So we create projects, and a plan to address the gaps that we've identified in your when you did your self-assessments or when we help you validate it. Then we begin, service plans and risk assessment meetings. After that, we begin implementation and configuration of your GCC High. If you're not already in GCC High, we can help migrate your workload, your email, your SharePoint, your OneDrive, your data. We can help you migrate that to SharePoint and OneDrive, basically help you with that migration / onboarding to GCC High, set it up. And then the beauty of it is we help you with the ongoing management of that environment as well. So that's the high level of our proven process. finally, this morning, or actually depending on where you are in the world, afternoon or evening, to recap, you want to know how FCI or CUI flows through your organization, and you want to understand if you have in your contracts any of the FAR or DFAS clauses we discussed earlier today. That is how you can know for sure if CMMC affects you. We know that while CMMC is still going through rulemaking, this 800-171, which is what CMMC is based on, is in effect and has been in effect and actually required since December 31st of 2017. GCC High Cloud is specifically designed to meet the compliance needs of defense contractors, especially small defense contractors. And Microsoft has created specific solutions to reduce the cost and timeline of meeting CMMC requirements. Today, we also looked at the different functions and benefits for small defense contractors of some of the tools, especially the compliance manager with the assessment templates that Microsoft has made available on GCC High. Now, with a clear understanding of all this, of CMMC, the updates and how the Microsoft GCC High Cloud, is one of the most comprehensive and cost-effective solutions available, it is also clear that small contractors will need help with setting up and maintaining their CMMC compliance in the Microsoft GCC High Cloud. And that is where TechAxia comes in. That's where we come in, because we understand that some companies will be able to do this by themselves. We also understand that some other companies will need help. At TechAxia, we have certified professionals, experienced professionals, both within the CMMC ecosystem and the Microsoft GCC High ecosystem. We have this staff in-house, and we want to encourage everyone on the call today and those that will catch a replay of this webinar. We want to encourage you to reach out to TechAxia for assistance with your CMMC compliance journey. Again, we want to emphasize that we have the experience, we have the expertise, and we are very committed at serving our small defense contractors and helping them achieve CMMC compliance at the highest levels. Again, I want to thank you very much for your time. Please feel free to schedule a 30-minute consultation call with us. Our contact details is on the screen. Again, we want to encourage everyone to reach out. I will be very happy to assist you as we are assisting other contractors. Again, thank you for your time, and I want to open it up for questions at this time.